Guys, welcome back to this tutorial. In this tutorial, we are going ahead and talk about the exception methods which are very specific to the DML exception. Now, in the previous tutorial, what we have covered is these are the methods that we talked about, and these methods are common to all the different kinds of exceptions. No matter it's a DML exception or it's an S object exception or a list exception, these methods are available in each of those exception types. But sometimes for specific kind of exception, let's say DML exceptions, there are certain methods which can only apply to them, and they are not common across the other exception types. So for example, there are some of these methods which we are going to discuss are only specific to the DML exception. So when you are talking about a DML insert or anything like that, then you can use these methods in order to get more information regarding a particular DML exception that occurred in your program. So the first method that we are available is the get DML field names. So let's say you are trying to insert a new lead record and you have not provided the fields that are necessary in order to create a new lead record. So in that case, what the get DML field names is going to return, it is basically will return the names of the fields which caused the error for that particular failure of the record. So if you are trying to insert a lead record and you have not provided the last name for the fields, then in that case, this DML insert operation will fail because the required field value was not provided. And what was the required field? The last name was not provided. Then you have is this get DML ID. And what you going to do here is this particular method will return the ID of the failed record which caused the error for the specified failed record. So it basically will return you the ID of the record which was failed. Then you have is a get DML message. This method will return you the error message for the specified failed record. So what was the cause for that failure? So this particular method will return you the error message. Then the last method that is specific to the DML exception is get num DML, which tells you the total number of the failed records. So let's say you were trying to insert a list of leads record, and for some of the records you did not have the required information. Company name, for some of the records you did not have the last name, and for some of the records you had probably missing both the required fields. So this particular get num DML method will tell you the total number of failed records. So let's say out of the 5, 3 were fine because you provided all the required information. But for the remaining 2, you did not provide the required information. So that's why they failed. So this method will return you the number of the failed records. So these methods that you see here are specifically related to the exception, DML exception. So they are not related to the across the whole exception types. They're only related to the DML exceptions. So in the next tutorial, what we are going to do is we are going to go ahead and do a simple example, and in that particular example we'll make use of all these methods, and we are going to write a program which basically throws a DML exception, and we will handle that exception, and we will use these methods to give more information related to the exception. So I will see you in the next tutorial. Till then, have a good day. Bye.